So what about you? You gonna go back to heaven? I don't know. My brothers are dead. My father never returned. In so many ways, I'm alone. Yeah, same here. It's not like I have family waiting to see me. You have the Winchesters, your brothers. I met them once, and they let me rot in hell. Family. Family sucks.
Hi guys, Leo here from Winchester. Welcome to a new video where I talk about how awesome Jake Abel was as Adam. I was totally blown away by him in the latest episode. He totally stole the show. I was never a big fan of his character, the character of Adam. He came out of nowhere early on, 10 years ago, claiming to be the half-brother of the boys, the younger half-brother. And turns out he was actually a ghoul, and the real Adam's dead when he first showed up on the show. He came off as whiny. I know he had a good reason to not to trust the boys or Jean because they were never really around for him. They were strangers to him. He was plucked out of nowhere by Castiel after being resurrected by angels from heaven to become Michael's backup vessel after Dean refused to be Michael's vessel. So yeah, he wasn't that charismatic and his acting wasn't that great. Jake Abel, I think early on he was good, but not as great as he is now after all that time. Upon his return to Earth, when God opened the gates of hell, we find out since he's been living with Michael for all these years, 10 years on Earth, whatever number of years on hell, they didn't bother addressing that by the way. He actually formed a relationship, a good relationship with Michael. They both trying to figure out their place in the world after they came back. And they both agree that their family sucks, so they have a lot of common, and it's not like an evil possession like we typically get from either demon, angels, or even archangels like Lucifer when he possessed Sam. It's actually a more understanding new dynamic there, which I find to be very interesting. Let's talk about how awesome Jake Abel acting was. He matured a lot in those 10 years. He looks almost the same, almost as young as he did back then, which is amazing, but you can tell his voice definitely changed. He matured a lot. He plays the two characters of Adam and Michael masterfully. He deserves like an Emmy for that, amazing. He totally stole the show in the latest episode. He had this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde dynamic of like the good and evil within yourself. Although Michael is not really evil, but the fact that he had this split personality dynamic, switching both as Adam and Michael, he did a great job as both. You can tell them completely distinct from each other. He kind of reminds me of how the Joker in one of my favorite movies, one of my all-time favorites, in The Dark Knight, totally stole the show from Batman and other great actors in the movie. For me, I don't know if he stole the show from me, but at least most of the attention he got, Heath Ledger playing the Joker brilliantly, he got an Oscar for it after he tragically died. I think that same dynamic, very similar here, in how Jake Abel stole the show in the latest episode. He did a wonderful job, and I did not even feel the episode when it ended. I thought it's like there's like a half an hour left in the episode. It passed by so quick, it felt so short. For how great it was, I think it definitely was the best episode this season and the best episode in a very long time. Great job, Jake Abel. He definitely deserves Emmy or whatever awards he should get for that. It's already done? I didn't feel it. Wow, this episode was amazing. Also, let's talk about how both characters, Michael and Adam, have matured a lot and developed a lot after all these years in Hell's Cage, especially towards the end of the episode. First of all, for Adam, he rightfully feels hurt and betrayed by his two older bros who left him to rot in hell for ages, but he still gives him the benefit of the doubt in his conversation with Michael, telling him that the boys always tried to do the right thing. Despite his really shallow knowledge of them, he doesn't really know them that much. He only met them and talked to them briefly before everything happened. And despite what they did to him by not saving him all these years from hell. And he accepts Dean's heartfelt apology at the end of the episode. Again, probably the best scene in the episode in my opinion. It was very heartfelt, and I felt really bad for Adam and even for Michael. He told him that we don't always get what we deserve, and he looks genuinely heartbroken, but also accepting of Dean's apology, which just really says a lot about how he matured over the years.
Yeah?
Adam, I want you to know. We are sorry. What happened to you? You're a good man. You didn't deserve that.
Since when do we get what we deserve? Good luck.
As for Michael, he has always been a blind follower of his father God, taking his orders without questioning and executing them in a very similar fashion, by the way, to how Dean was with John, especially in the early years of the show, which is a great parallel considering their distant relationship, as Dean being the main vessel for Michael. Even after all those years locked up in hell and being completely abandoned and betrayed by his father God, Michael still remained naive and loyal to God upon his escape to Earth. The boys tried to convince him to help them fight God and explain to him how God is actually bad, he's a big villain. Michael stubbornly refuses at first, but then he is forced to face the truth by Cass towards the end of the episode, when Cass shows him a recap of God's greatest douchey hits. Him talking about everything just being a story for fun for him, just like torturing and making people and being suffer for his own entertainment, Supernatural being his favorite show, he does whatever he wants with all the worlds, and him deciding to end it all, to end the world. Michael finally changes his view of God after facing the truth, and he decides to help the boys trap God by giving them a spell to do it and opening a rift to purgatory for them to retrieve the most important ingredient in it, the Leviathan blossom thing at the end. And how badass was that scene when he had the Archangel cuffs on and he could still open a rift into a different dimension, a different world. Although those handcuffs are supposed to contain him from even hurting mere humans around, you can consider this a plot hole, because he should be able to do much more than open a rift if he could do so with cuffs on. So why did he do it? I don't think he just did it for fun to listen to the boys, because he could have listened to them without having the cuffs on, so that doesn't make any sense to me. But either way, it was a badass scene and he decided to help him, again showing how his character finally developed from the one-note blind follower of God to a more wise, a more mature, a more aware person who decided to do the right thing despite all the lies he believed about his father for ages. A great character and a genuinely good person, unlike Apocalypse World Michael, who's just mostly a one-note douchebag villain despite being right about God in that case.
See the truth for yourself.
I'm a writer. Lying's kind of what we do. Of all the Sams and Deans in all the multiverse, you're my favorite show.
And you were right. I am a monster.
Wait, you're enjoying this?
This isn't how this story's supposed to end.
The story? Wait, what are you saying? He's saying he's been playing us this whole time. Everything. This is all you because you wrote it all, right? Because we're your favorite show? Because we're part of your story?
The apocalypse, Lucifer, and Michael, you knew everything that was going on. Why don't you just snap your fingers and end it?
Fine. That's the way you want it? Story's over. Welcome to the end.
I hope that this is not the last we have seen of Adam/Michael, and that they will be brought back sometime later, maybe at the very end, to help the boys beat God. I hope he does not die in the process, as that would be an even more tragic end for him after everything both he and Adam have been through. But knowing Supernatural writers and showrunners, that is what most likely will happen, sadly. Either way, a very admirable set of characters, Adam and Michael, and I am very happy with how they brought them back and developed them. Props to the new writers for once, right? So what did you guys think of Jake Abel's return as Michael? Adam? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Subscribe for more awesome Supernatural content. Till next time, as always, no chick flick moments.
2, maybe because we've worked together before. Remember? Setting up the apocalypse?
To try and bring God back.
Right. Didn't work then, but then he came back on his own, so... When?
If that's true. If. He can come talk to me himself.
Yeah, except I'm not supposed to leave without you.
Get out.
Michael? I can't fail him.
remember nothing.